In this tutorial video, we're going to cover how you could use roll maps in the Slopegraide app, both on the practice green and out on the course, to hit great putts at optimal speed. To get into roll maps, scroll down on the Slopegraide menu and tap on the roll maps option. Right away, you're going to see a color-coded chart that represents the various amount of backstroke lengths that will launch putts at optimal speed based on the given putt length on the left-hand side here and the slope elevation on the top. Now this is the uphill side of the roll maps chart. If I want to see the downhill side, I can access it in two ways. The first way, I could tap the uphill text to flip it to downhill, or I could tap the grid twice to flip it, like so. And right now I'm putting on pretty slow greens. They were just aerated, so they're rolled about a 9.5 on the Stimpmeter, which we do have a separate tutorial video that shows you how you can find the green speed of the greens you're putting on using two alignment sticks. To change the variant of the roll maps chart, you could select the stimp text in the top left corner or the 1 foot past hole variant text at the top. And it's going to display a configurable menu where you can change the green speed and the speed preference value, as well as toggle a tournament mode setting, which we will get to at the very end. The green speed can be changed from 6 to 15, which most of the time you're going to be at a value around 8 and 12, give or take. But we're going to keep it at 9.5 for this tutorial video. And if you're a dead weight putter, you could set the speed preference all the way down to just a fraction of an inch past the hole. Or if you're a very aggressive putter, you could set it all the way up to 3 feet past the hole. We're going to set it to about 1 foot past the hole because it's the optimal holing speed. And we're going to go back. Now for this putt right here, we got about, say, 18 to 20 feet, give or take, at about 6 or 7 inches uphill. It's pretty steep. So to find out how far back I need to take my putter, I'm going to go to the putt length of 18 feet and slide all the way across to about 7 inches, and it's in the yellow zone here at 11. Now here's a question that I get a lot. How do I know if it's 11 inches or closer to 12 or 13? Well, that is up to you to decide based on where the square is positioned. So for this putt, it's right in the middle here, so I may lean closer to 12 inches back. But if I really want to find out what that actual value is in the training mode, I can long press the orange square that's here, and it will display a putting stroke model that shows you the ideal putting stroke to get this putt launched at optimal speed. Now if you notice up here, it says 11.6 inches back. If I want to change the uphill or downhill value that's displayed here, I can tap the text here at the top of the screen, and it's going to load a series of configurable sliders that allow me to customize this putt length here. Now I can go all the way up to 100 feet, which is, you're only going to see 30 feet displayed on the roll maps itself, but this gives you an option to work on lag putts. Let's just say I wanted to putt from here all the way to the end of the screen. But we're going to keep it at 18. And I can change the slope elevation all the way up to 3 feet uphill or 3 feet downhill. We're going to keep it at 7. And if I'm a pop stroke putter, I can set the tempo very fast, which will be very quick. So if I were to go back here, it's going to really give me a quick animated putting stroke, and it's going to repeat on loop. If I'm having an elongated putting stroke, I could set it all the way to nearly 1.5 seconds, and the cadence is going to be much slower, 42 beats a minute, and you're going to see that this putting stroke really drags out. But I'm a guy that loves to putt at 60 beats a minute, or maybe even slightly faster than that, so I'm going to put it at 0.9 seconds. And it's going to count down when this model is going to start, and it's going to give me an ideal putting stroke that will get this putt launched at optimal speed. So this putting stroke is going to be like 10.7 inches back. I could toggle a metronome which will give an audible click to get my mind into the pacing of the stroke. So I'll just imagine that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Very helpful tool there. If I want to see this animation left-handed, I can toggle this and it'll give me the same visual for a left-handed putter. But of course I'm a righty, so I'm going to put it back. And we're going to exit out of the pine stroke model here. Now, if you're out playing on the golf course, this training mode is not conformant to the rules of golf. So if I want to see a version of roll maps that are conformant to the rules, I can go back into the Slopegraide menu here and turn the tournament mode setting to the on position. And when I go back, it's now going to display this grid that gives me a visual of the roll distance after I strike this putt after 1 second of rolling. Please see the 3D view putt model video that further explains this visual a lot better. Now, ideally, I just tell clients all the time to memorize the grid for backstroke length when using the rules conforming version of roll maps, because the discrepancy between both of them is very close. So if I have this putt again here, we're back in the orange zone. It gives me 9 feet after the first second, but I know that this orange value square represents 11 inches. I could then hit this putt again and hit putts at pretty decent speed here. So I'm going to say this again. Memorize the backstroke length grid that's down here if you're going to use the tournament mode version of roll maps, and you're going to save yourself a lot of time and headache by trying to do a lot of these math calculations in your head when you don't necessarily have to. I'll see you in the next video.